What's up, world? It's Rue from Fathers in Trucking. I'm a little bit under the weather, but we're gonna make it through this today. Rich, say hi.
What's up, world?
Oh man.
It's my thing.
Yeah, I know. Today, we're gonna talk about how to communicate via your loved ones back home. Most of these are pretty common, but we're going to share some tips that we have found do and don't work. So obviously, your basic stuff, right? So texts, emails, phone calls, right? We use emails if there's anything important that we need to share, but can't get a specific immediate reaction that we need right now, meaning answers for bills, dates, any kind of special event that's happening. My wife just emails it to me. I'll look at it, I'll send it, talk to her about it the next time we talk, or send her an email back because she works during the day. That's what works best for us. That's what we have found. We've also found that if you need an immediate response, don't send an email, because chances are you're not going to get it back quick enough.
Yeah, I use Facebook for pretty much everything.
Right.
I don't text. I don't, like, if you text me, probably not going to get a response, because that's how little I text. If
Unless
you
it's
send
me.
a message, well, right.
If it's me, I'll text him and then he calls me and asks me why I text him.
Yeah, because I use Facebook for everything.
Everything.
It's just easy.
Right. Obviously, don't text and drive. Duh. Right?
If you need to text, use your voice.
Yeah, use the voice to text.
You know,
Google has a fantastic one.
Google does. I mean, Apple has Siri.
Siri is pretty good. There's a new Alexa app coming out, I think this year. Supposedly it's supposed to be better than Google, but I doubt it. But yeah, I mean, it all works.
We're biased, if you couldn't tell.
A bit, right? On that same subject, keep in mind where you are when you are making phone calls, specifically in the mountains, in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, Iowa, somewhere where there's not a large population and you'll be driving for hundreds of miles. Your service is
probably going to be spotty at best.
Right.
You'll get service and then you'll be on the phone for 30 seconds and it'll drop.
Right. And also depending on the provider you use, right? Obviously Verizon has a very good, very strong network, but they also have specific spots that they just don't use. And so if you know that you drive in a more rural part of the area, and that's probably the most common place you drive, you should probably look up what service you have that's the best in that specific area. But a lot of the west before Colorado, before the Rockies really, you're going to have a difficult time unless you're going directly into a city. Then you've also got your great video calling services. FaceTime with Apple. Android has a similar version. I don't know what they call it, but it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's just video. I think it's just video calling. I don't think it has a special name.
But most of them in today's market, most of your smartphones, you hit the call button and then you'll have a video icon there.
You got Google Duo.
Google Duo,
which only works Google to Google, I think.
Well, anybody that has an app.
Yeah.
Anybody that has an app. Me and my family like it because we use it with the older generation in our family, meaning parents and grandparents, and it works great because You just hit the button and it calls directly.
And then obviously you have Skype too.
Right,
That's
Skype.
another one.
Skype is a good one.
And then again, Facebook.
Right.
That's typically what I use.
Right. He uses Facebook. We use Google Duo in our family. Now, with all of these, you have to keep in mind that they have to go over a network, and they use data. So keep in mind that if you don't have an unlimited data plan, you could be in a world of hurt.
Yeah, it'll eat it up. And
Right.
it'll eat up, obviously, being in a truck, typically you'll have access to a pretty consistent supply of power, but if not, that's another thing, it'll eat up a lot of battery.
Yep.
So if you're without power for whatever reason, keep that in mind too.
Right, and so here's a prime example of what you can do, right? You, just because you have a specific phone plan doesn't mean the rest of your family has to, right? For example, I have an unlimited data plan from a big carrier, but my wife has Google Fi, which is you pay per gig.
She does.
Yes, and it works spectacular for her because she is 98% of the time she is somewhere that has Wi-Fi, right? And so we pay less than $50 a month for hers, whereas I pay almost $100 for mine, right? Whereas if I would have added her to my phone plan, it would have jumped us up to 170, 180, something like that. Plus, she would have had to she would have had to have gotten a new phone. So it worked out better for us, for her to keep her plan and me to keep my plan, or me to get a new plan. So just keep that in mind. I highly recommend one of the big four cell phone companies with an unlimited plan. That looks like that sucks. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Just passed another one of our drivers.
Yeah, and they're on the side of the road. It looks like they're freaking out a little bit. Anyway, moving on. And then the last and final thing that we'll talk about, because this is something specifically in your first 90 days, which is great. Again, this is great about our dynamic right now because Rich is in his first 90 days. I've got a little bit more experience, so I can help him out with a lot of these little things. So your first 90 days or so, your paychecks are going to be scattered. If you don't go immediately to an orientation where they will send you, where they will put your paycheck immediately on direct deposit, or if they require you to wait 30 days before they'll put it on direct deposit, which I've also read some companies do, because not all drivers make it on the first day. You will need to get money home somehow. Every major company, in fact, almost all the smaller companies, offer a money deposit service, not deposit, money, a fuel card service, which also includes checks. The two biggest ones are Fleet Cards and Comdata. They work exactly the same. You pay for the cards themselves have two different accounts. You pay for your fuel using the one account, which it automatically takes from. You get paid on your second account. And then you can write checks out for them for whatever amount that you need that's been deposited in that second account. And then with those, or using the card, you can send money home, right? Within those first 30 days.
Some of them you can use like as a PIN-based thing, but these aren't like Visa or Master. They don't have a logo, so it's not like with your typical debit card you can run it and you can hit the credit option. That they don't work like that. You have to use it as a PIN, and even some places don't even accept them because it's an off-brand card.
Exactly. So the four biggest that we have learned that work by far the best in order to transfer money truck stops, almost all of them have some form of Western Union type of transfer, or Western Union themselves. However, that can cost a lot of money because that goes up as your transfer goes up. Walmart, surprisingly, actually works incredibly well, and they have a flat fee for up to, I think, $500 or $700.
Yeah, it's like $8, and it goes Walmart to Walmart, so you can send it to an individual person. They can go to any Walmart in the state they're in, show their ID, as long as they have the pickup number.
Right, and
they'll pick it up within 10 minutes usually.
Yep, and my wife used that several times our first few weeks. It worked beautifully, no big deal. We already talked about the money transfer option. If you have the ability to deposit your money into a bank that is close to somewhere you can get to, which is much more difficult, but some actually have that ability. You know, your big banks, Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, any of your big banks that are national, you can usually find a way to get to one of them and deposit the money, and then use that to transfer. Or the last thing is mobile deposits, which, like we discussed earlier, you write out the check, you figure out how that check will be activated. For example, we use ComChecks, so you fill everything out with the PO and the numbers, and then you call them, and then they will activate that check so that you can deposit. And then using your mobile app, you can then send it that way. On that same app, or on that same topic, what's the name of that new thing that banks use now? Zelle or something like that. Anyway, there's a commercial about it. But most bank apps now use a common app. I guess it's an app.
Wire transfer. Basically.
Yeah, transfer, right? So kind of like PayPal, but they can transfer bank to bank. So whether or not they are within your bank or not. And then we have some other thing. We have people that help us out at home. So we use like Venmo. That's a good one. Facebook.
Yeah, you can actually do money transfers through. You can pay people through Facebook now with no fee.
Right.
You just got to link your debit card to it, and then you can actually just send money. Matter of fact, Ray did that for me when I was in school, so I could pay for my hazmat.
Right.
I had enough money to pay for my CDL fee, but I didn't have enough to cover the hazmat, and it was just easier for me to do it then because we knew that I was going to be out on the road for 2 months, and the sooner I got that, the sooner we could get more loads. So he sent me the money through that, and it was there within, I don't know exactly, but it was there within an hour for sure when I checked.
So that's it. Well, we're just trying to give you guys some cool tips and some things that we've noticed that work really well for us. Do you have anything else to add?
I don't think so.
Stay hydrated. My goodness, stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Because
don't just drink constant soda either.
Oh no.
Like today is the first time I've put soda in my giant trucker mug. I've been putting Gatorade and water in this thing, and lemonade. The Love's lemonade. Anybody that stops at Love's knows that stuff's strong. I cut it with like quarter water, full cup of ice, because that stuff is strong.
I love it. Anyway, that's all we got. Stay safe, stay fit, and we'll talk to you later.